Here is, have you been following these special elections? There's two of them. There's one in California. That's the 25th district. That is Katie Hill's district.
Christy Smith, yeah.
And it's Christy Smith. This is the one that Cenk ran in, did not do very well.
Right.
And she's running against a Republican, I think he's a vet and Hispanic. Mm-hmm. And to the extent that there's any polling, there's been very little public polling. There's been private polling by the Republican that shows him up by a single digit leads. I haven't heard that she's the greatest candidate. I don't know. One of the things that apparently is hurting Christy Smith in California, at least this is the story, is that that bill that they passed in the State House, she's associated with, I think it's bill number 5, the one that basically curtails use of gig workers and using them as contractors. And this is, Republican-oriented district. And so they may be hesitant, they still have problems with that. There's reason to believe in the general election, because this is just now from, May until November, because this is the special election. In November, there's a re-election for this seat, I believe. And I believe there is, right? Because Katie Hill, it would be every 2 years. And in that election, I think regardless of who wins in this one, the special election, you're going to see the Democrat win just because of the sheer numbers of Democrats who are going to come out to vote against Donald Trump. In Wisconsin, the 7th district, we could have the third Native American woman in Congress with Tricia Zunker. Here's a campaign ad by Tricia Zunker. She is running in a special election against Tom Tiffany, who for Duffy's seat. The guy from I don't know, Great Race or something like that. Real World.
Ho-Chunk means people of the big voice, and my Ho-Chunk relatives were true to their name. They would not be silenced in their beloved homeland of Wisconsin, even after being forced away over 10 times on cattle cars to South Dakota and Nebraska. The Ho-Chunk kept coming home. Finally, the government heard the big voice.
What happened? Is that it?
The video must have failed.
Oh, well, Zunker is a lawyer, sat on the board of the ACLU, taught law, I'm not sure where, but great candidate. And this is like more than anywhere else, this Wisconsin one, and you have to vote in person. I mean, you could do the absentee balloting and stuff like that, but still having voting in person. It's not totally mail-in ballots. There's been a lot of ballots in this district that have been mailed in. This is going to be, another indication of, and this is a district that Trump won walking away.
Right.
If she wins in this district, in this special election, that's a very, very good sign. Same with California. Like, these are places that you could see them going Democratic when people are coming out, particularly in California, maybe in Wisconsin when people are coming out for the election. But if she wins now in a special election where you have a district that is like very leaning towards Republicans, that's going to be indicative of the level of enthusiasm. And Donald Trump tweeted out about Christy Smith, I think, in the 25th district, I think. And that's a mistake for him. Because if he makes that a national race, that's going to drive people out. I mean, these two.
Yeah, because it was Never Trumpers. That district, a little different than Wisconsin. It was the Never Trump movement there. I mean, California is not, the Republican movement in California is not a Trump movement. It's a Steve Schmidt movement. Like, you know what I mean? It's like that kind of Republican.
Right. To the extent that they still exist.
Yeah, exactly. The 8 of them, yeah.
Yeah. But
they'll have MSNBC contracts. These races
are ones where it really, they can only show how much trouble Trump is in. And they either will reveal not much or at least they won't reveal that much, or they will reveal that he's in a lot of trouble. There's no way really to use these to gauge Biden's strength in this instance. This is all just sort of like measuring the referendum against Trump.
Well, I mean, so much so that I don't know if you guys saw that email that Bernie sent out about down ballot race. I was actually kind of taken aback by it. I don't know who's advising him right now. I feel like it was a really bad political move, even if he wants to support down ballot races. And some of those people on that list were fantastic. And 3 of them were in New York State senators. I appreciate that. But Christy Smith was on that list. And it just, brand-wise, I felt like it was a very odd, even if he could influence that race, like she could have made asks to Hillary Clinton and gotten the same result. I don't know. I just thought it was a very odd push for him, especially after, pulling back his endorsement of Cenk. So something's going on in like Bernie land. If I can say it out loud, I don't know what he's making some political moves that are way more conservative, politically conservative, not issues based, but that too, than he would normally do. Like supporting very establishment Democrats because of so much that's on the line right now, understandably so. But it just seems like, I don't know.
I mean, he did that, frankly, with the first CARES bill too, right? I mean,
yeah.
And I think, I have no insight to this whatsoever, but my guess would be he is aware that he is not going to be running another election for president.
Right.
And that to the extent that he's going to be able to get to do anything with his outside organization, if he chooses to sort of pursue that outside game, he needs a Democratic majority in the House and the Senate and the presidency for that outside organization to be meaningful. I mean, this is sort of like, this is the same argument as to why you vote for Biden. And you say that we actually have leverage. Like, I think he is trying to play a little bit of an inside game, at least enough, so that when he activates his outside game, those doors he's got a toe in those doors. Right. And when he comes in, he's going to come in with an army full of people. I mean,
I hear you, but like Christy Smith's not loyal to him. I mean, there are a lot of races that he could move. For instance, Samalis Lopez, like that one, lowest turnout district in the country, poorest district. He endorses her. She wins in a second. He didn't have to endorse the 3 state senators, who I love. Like, let me be very clear. Senator Gennaros is my senator, deputy leader. Julia Salazar, of course, Jessica Ramos. They don't need him right now. They're in the majority. They have no real opponents. So it's just mind-boggling, other than sticking it to Cuomo, which I get is a political move. But I just don't understand the logic. I mean, he probably just owes them some favors too. Like they thought that New York was going to be competitive and they would have a voice. Whatever it is, not the moment for it. That's my thought. Like, there are people, if you want to bring that cadre in that's loyal to you, Christy Smith is not that person.
Right. Well, but I don't think he has. It's either her or a Republican.
Sure. I mean, but there's other races he could be. I mean, this woman, this Native woman, talk about an important race.
Right.
He could, in Wisconsin of all states, he could move that race. Can he move the Republican Never Trumpers? It's probably going to hurt Christy Smith more than help her.